yard. It looked like it might be something fun to play. Saw it on the shelf and brought it home that day. Opened the box, beat a rhino and was hooked. Now it might be dead and I am shook. What the hell, I just bought this game. Now you're telling me it's dead, that's really lame. What do I do with all these cards? Maybe sell them at a sale in my yard. No announcement for at least a week. The outlook seems a little bleak. All they talk about is Star Wars. Already spent the money, of course. What the hell, I just bought this game. Now you're telling me it's dead, that's really lame. What I do with all these cards? Maybe sell them at a sale in my yard. They just revealed a hero, I thought the game was dead. Seems people were just panicked, it's doing fine instead. I'm glad I didn't sell my cards, still have them in a box. I think it's time to play a game, you guys can go kick rocks. What the hell, I just bought this game. It's a lot, but you said it's dead, that's lame. I think to celebrate I'll get a game in now. Everybody needs to chill, holy cow. It's a lot, but you said it's dead. Feeling just a bit like I was misled. The panic now just seems so lame. I'm logging off, gonna play my game. I just bought the core set and joined the game Discord. Scouring the internet for the packs I can't afford. But now I'm getting worried cause I see it everywhere. The game is dying, they all cry, now I'm a little scared. What the hell, I just bought this game. Now you're telling me it's dead, that's really lame. What do I do with all these cards? Maybe sell them at a sale in my yard. It looked like it might be something fun to play. Saw it on the shelf and brought it home that day. Opened the box, beat a rhino and was hooked. Now it might be dead and I am shook. What the hell, I just bought this game. Now you're telling me it's dead, that's really lame. What do I do with all these cards? Maybe sell them at a sale in my yard. No announcement for at least a week. The outlook seems a little bleak. All they talk about is Star Wars. Already spent the money, of course.
Can you hear now? Can you hear me at all now? Oh, how annoying! This stupid thing, like, it switched to default mic instead of using my USB mic, and so it just... Oh, that sucks. I've been talking to myself for like 45 minutes. Well, I apologize, everyone. You've just been watching a video with, like, no sound. I don't want to go back and start the game all over again. But I guess I could run through a quick recap. So the first I played defensive conditioning, so that gave me extra hit points and also extra defense. I was able to get Dauntless down and Hard to Ignore. I was able to get Change of Fortune out, but I haven't been able to use it yet because that was fairly recent. Anyway, yeah, I cleared Ancient Ritual pretty early in the game because you want to keep threat off of that. It's pretty awful. It gives you encounter cards whenever it hits 10 and then it just defaults back to 5. So this you want to keep clear as much as possible because there's at least one treachery that gives it 5 threat, and then every time you defeat one of his one of the little minions, these little clan Akba zealots, they put 2 threat on Ancient Ritual, which is why it's got 2 right now. We had a couple of side schemes out. I got rid of one of them. Now we've got to get rid of this one, otherwise this is going to end up popping, which is bad. He just attacked me for 4, and I decided to Bamf that and use Tally Ho. Oh, thank you. Yes, my custom sleeves. Anyway, so he was attacking me for 4. I'm blocking for 4. Yeah, so I guess we'll just keep going with the game. I apologize for anybody who actually makes it this far in this video later. It's like, what is going on? Yeah, that stupid thing changed my defaults. My computer restarted, which of course turned OBS off, which apparently for whatever reason, like, did something to the settings on my mic and actually switched it back to the default mic instead of the one that I have that plugs in. So we're still in stage 1. We haven't gotten very far. Oh yeah, and you guys missed my great explanation in the beginning of what this deck is about and why I did the whole thing. I don't really feel like going over that again though. Suffice it to say, it's based on there's a Latin phrase, habemus gladi duo, which comes from, it's a Latin phrase and it comes from Luke 22:38, I believe, which is, we have 2 swords. And anyway, like, that came to mind when I saw the Excelsior sword in Hulkling's deck and realized it would be really good for Nightcrawler since most of his cards actually have they have the little energy resource on them, which is what Excelsior wants you to use in order to do the 2 damage whenever you defend. So I thought, well, I mean, his cutlasses actually count as 2 swords. So, you know, you add Excelsior in, and I have 3 swords, so I changed that. And hence this deck is called Habeo trace, or Habeo gladios trace. If you know Latin, I'm sure I horribly butchered that, and I know that the grammar is off, because I was going for more of the like poetic license with it to make it sound a little closer to the saying from the verse, the Bible verse. So anyway, that's how this deck kind of ended up coming about. And most of the stuff happening in this deck, it will do quite a bit of damage. Even without stop hitting yourself, it'll do quite a bit of damage during the villain's turn. So anyway, I guess we'll get back to him attacking me for 4, because he's got this staggering strength. And me blocking for 4. Yeah, let's see. Oh wow, he gets no boost, so I block everything. I take no damage. I'm still above 9. So that means that he takes a retaliate, because I have Dauntless out over here. So there is that. And then, oh yeah, I'm also stunned. So then this card gets discarded after the activation. So it is nice to get rid of that, at least. Let's see, now we have to draw an encounter card. Biomorphic Blast. He is not in biomorph form, but it's when revealed if Apocalypse is in biomorph form, he activates against you. He's not. Otherwise, change Apocalypse to biomorph form and place 1 power counter on the main scheme. Alright, so this is going to get a power counter. And he's switching back to biomorph form. And after he changes to this form, deal 1 indirect damage to each player. So I am taking another damage. The only damage I've taken so far is literally just from this. He's done 2 indirect damage to me from flipping back to biomorph. Whoops. So we placed 1 power counter on the main scheme already. Alright, so it's back to my turn. Alright. Well, I have a Bamf in hand. I can go get Bamfs out of my discard pile. Why they're sitting inside my discard pile. Usually it's, I mean, technically you're not supposed to like mess with your discard pile, just the ordering, but I like to keep the Bamfs off to the side. This is also something that Andre does on Crash Space, or that I've seen him do, just so he knows where the Bamfs are, and it helps a lot. Anyway, what was I gonna do? I mean, it would be nice to do a riposte, but I think, man, it would be really nice to get Nerves of Steel down, but I don't think that's gonna happen this turn. Because I would like to get this teleport drop. But I also need to... Because I'm stunned, so the teleport drop is an attack, which is not great. Let's see. Well, I mean, I guess I'll at least use Day Tripper to take 2 off of Plugged In, because this has to go. And then she'll go to discard, because then she's done. I don't think the teleport drop is happening right now. I think I need to deal with the threat situation, because this is already at 5. And it can go up to 8. So we're going to put Bamf on Apocalypse. I'm going to use Riposte, and I would love to use Hard to Ignore to play Nerves of Steel, but I would also like to have Hard to Ignore out. Maybe I can... So Teleport Drop is just not... It's not going to happen this turn. So we'll get out Nerves of Steel. We'll put that over here. And then I'll hold on to Hard to Ignore. And then I'm just going to get rid of Plugged In. So now Apocalypse is changing. Oh, this was probably a bad idea. Because the Cyber Path, he puts one threat on each scheme in play. So that's even closer to going off. But Plugged In leaves, and he also gets a tough status, so now he's tough. So that's unfortunate, and then Ancient Ritual also gets one. I don't like that at all. But at least I have Nerves of Steel out now, so I got a way to pay for my defense stuff. And then I'll hold on to Hard to Ignore. Alright, so we're gonna ready, and then holding Hard to Ignore. There's Excelsior, Never Back Down, Powerful Punch, which I'm not gonna be able to use, and the X-Jet, which I'm not gonna be able to play, because I have to get Excelsior down. Alright, this is gonna go up by 1, so we're 1 away from this popping. We really need to get that down. That'll go up to 2. Apocalypse is going to attack me for 1. I am going to Bamf that. So that will go to discard. I'm also going to use Nerves of Steel to play Never Back Down, so I'll get +2. Not that that's really going to do much to help me out necessarily. He's only attacking for 1. The most he can attack is for 4, and I'm already blocking for 4. But I can also stun him, and I hope he doesn't jump back up to Giant again, because that would just be terrible. So he's attacking for 1, I'm blocking for 3, 4, 5, 6. He switches to Cyberpath form, which he's already in, so that basically whiffs. So I take no damage. He is going to take a retaliate, so that's going to knock the tough off. And then I'm going to use Hard to Ignore to take 1 off the main. And then he's also going to be stunned. For a second I thought I was missing one of my stun tokens. I forgot I'm stunned as well. So that's kind of unfortunate for me. I mean, I guess I could have played Powerful Punch if I really wanted to get rid of my stunned, but I don't really want to do that. Alright. So... I want to get Excelsior out. I also need to get this other Hard to Ignore out because that will help take pressure off the main. But I also need to grab a Bamf. So if I didn't need to grab a Bamf, I could just pay, like, that would get Hard to Ignore and that would get me Excelsior, but then I wouldn't be able to go get Bamf out of my discard pile, which I need to get so I can put it back on Apocalypse. So I think for now it's probably more important to deal with this. So I'm just going to use the X-Jet to get another Hard to Ignore out. And then I'm going to use Powerful Punch to grab Bamf, and I'm going to put that right back on Apocalypse again. I'm going to thwart 2 off the main, so that's going to put that at 4. And that is going to have to be my turn. So much of what happens on defense is it only happens like during the villain phase. There's not a ton of stuff that you can do if you're playing a really defense-focused deck, or a deck that deals mostly with triggering off of defense. Not really much that you can do when it's actually your turn, except for basically setup stuff. So we're ready, we're drawing up, so that's 2, 3, there's my cutlasses, 4, there's my tail, 5, wow. All upgrades. I never ever managed to get electrostatic armor out, and I really need to, because that functionally makes me, once I get my cutlasses, armor, and dauntless out, as long as my health is up, that functionally makes me a 3 retaliate. I need to look at getting that out. Alright, so this goes back to 5. Apocalypse would attack me, but he is stunned. So, unfortunately, that's not going to help me with this. But that's okay. Oh, and then this goes up to 3. I should remember that. And now we draw an encounter card. Oh, he gets his celestial weapon. This is not great, because of the way his deck is set up. So celestial weapon, it's when the villain attacks you, discard the top card of your deck if that card's resource has energy, which most of Nightcrawler's cards do have. Deal 2 damage to your identity. Not great. Mental, discard a card from your hand. Physical, you are stunned, then discard this card. Or wild, do all of the above. Not great. Honestly, I will take a wild. I don't have many wilds in this deck either. So that's going to be an issue as well. Alright, well, at least I can get some stuff set up. So I definitely need to get the tail out. Oh, I want my cutlasses, but I gotta get Excelsior out too. So I think I'm gonna hold on to my cutlasses. I'll use Energy Shield to get my tail. Alright, so now I have, when I can get my cutlasses out, I can have both them and Excelsior out at the same time. I'll use, again, dropping electrostatic armor to get out Excelsior. So that is going to give me the ability to just do damage, even when I'm stunned, because it's not an attack. So that's actually another really useful thing about Excelsior, is you're doing damage, but it's not an attack. So that's helpful. That would be really nice to have the X-Jet out, because the X-Jet could help pay for that. So, unfortunate. But that is okay. So, I'm gonna thwart for 2. So this will go down to 3. And then hopefully with the hard to ignores we can keep whittling that down and make sure that it doesn't go back up again. And then I can just concentrate on manually keeping threat off of Ancient Ritual. Because, man, this is not great. Celestial Weapon. Oh, it's like the worst thing I could have possibly drawn for Nightcrawler. Worst thing. Alright, so we're going to ready and draw. So we've got the Cutlasses and Flappable. Another defensive energy. My last hard to ignore. Let's see, make sure the Bamfs get shuffled in here. I've forgotten that before. That's the only problem with keeping the Bamfs outside of the actual discard pile, is that sometimes I will forget to actually shuffle them back in. I do have a Bamf on Apocalypse, so I do have access to a Bamf, so that's good. Okay, so there we go. One more card, Scout Ahead. That's actually really good. That will allow me to completely clear off Ancient Ritual. So not too bad. Only thing is I don't have a defense event to spend defensive energy on, unfortunately. Alright, so this is going to go up by 1. He is going to attack. He is attacking. So I have to discard the top card of my deck. It's a wild, and it's Day Tripper, which is unfortunate because I would have liked to have gotten her back. Anyway, so that's going to deal 2 damage to my identity, which is going to turn off Dauntless. Dauntless no longer is going to work, because that takes me down to 8. I need to heal. Then I have to discard a card from my hand. Thankfully it's not random, I can choose. I am going to choose to discard Hard to Ignore. Yeah, because I don't really need it. 2 is great for now. And then I am stunned. I'm already stunned. And then this gets discarded. So, I said and that goes at the bottom there. Okay, so I said I'd take a wild, and it gave me a wild. Alright. So his attack is still happening. I will Bamf that. It'd be really nice to have Unflappable out right now. Yeah, I'm gonna Bamf that. So he's attacking for 1. Now I either place 3 threat on Ancient Ritual, or this card gets +3 boosts. I'm gonna give it +3 boost because I'm gonna block all of that anyway, because I defend for 4. So, and he would be attacking for 4, so I take no damage. Unfortunately, Dauntless doesn't get to do its thing, so that'll go to discard. However, Hard to Ignore will trigger, so I'll get to take 2 off the main. So there is that. Yeah, Night Nurse would definitely be really nice for this scenario. Yeah, I know, he keeps stunning me. It's very annoying. But at least I have Excelsior. I mean, I guess I could play... too bad it's not a defense. Oh, but these only work on events, unfortunately. Man, I really need to get the Cutlasses out, but I also want to get Unflappable out, because that's going to be most of my card draw. So I think after having defended, yeah, Excelsior, yeah. Since I don't have a defense event to spend this on anyway, I'll use this as a energy resource, and we'll just deal 2 damage to Apocalypse. And now we're even. Oh, hi, buddy. Apollo is saying hello. What's up? Hi. Okay, so he took 2 damage. And it's nice because this doesn't exhaust to do that, so every time you defend you can use it, which is great. Alright, so now we are... encounter cards. Oh, he's attacking me again. Not super great. Man. So I'm gonna have to just straight up block this one. So, oh, no, that's my other one. So he's attacking 1. And then he's going to change. Oh, he's already in Cyberpath, so that whiffs. So I take no damage, but again, my Dauntless isn't going to go off because I'm under 9 hit points. And then I can't pay for this right now because I need the cards that are in my hand. Alright. And I'm caught off guard now. Evil. I don't know when I'm gonna get that back, so I guess I'm just gonna drop Dauntless. It is unfortunate, but this is my nemesis card. I hate this card so much. It hits me every time. Every time! Alright, so now it's my turn. I know I wanted to use Scout Ahead for Ancient Ritual, but I cannot pay for it right now. I'm not overly worried about that. I do want to get Unflappable out, so I'm going to use Scout Ahead to get out Unflappable to help with card draw. And then I'm going to hold on to the Cutlasses for another turn. This is not great. Alright, so we'll ready and draw. That's 3, 4, 5. Man, I'm just not getting cards in the right order. Yeah, and I don't have a Bamf right now because I didn't grab it out of the discards, so that is kind of an issue. And Powerful Punch isn't going to do anything because it's an attack. It's both attack and defense, but I think because it is both attack and defense, the defense doesn't really trigger either because the attack is eaten by the stunned, if I remember that correctly. Alright, so this is going up by 1. This is also going up by 1. Apollo. Oh boy. Alright, so now I have to get rid of these and discard until we get a superpower, Shadow of the Past. Nice to see that. He's going to switch back to Biomorph form. And after Apocalypse changes to this form, deal 1 indirect damage to each player. So I'm taking yet another damage. Not super great. Actually, this gets discarded before that. Okay. Now we draw an encounter card. Or no, wait. No, we don't. Now he's attacking. I'm gonna have to just block for 4. He's attacking for 2. 3, 4. Oh, nice to see that gone. Though it would actually be kind of nice to have been able to jump down. So he attacks for 4, I block for 4, I take no damage. So I'm gonna Unflappable to draw a card. And then we're gonna use both Hard to Ignores to take 2 off the main. I know, blocking like a normie. I hate to do it, but unfortunately I don't have Bamf. I couldn't put Bamf back on him. Alright, now we draw an encounter card. And it's Ozymandias, who has Toughness and Villainous. And when he schemes, he places threat on Ancient Ritual. So, not great. I have to get rid of him soon. I mean, I guess I need to remember Excelsior. Because I could drop energy shield. Wait, let's math this out first. So if I drop energy shield to trigger Excelsior, that takes Apocalypse down to 6. I'm finally going to be able to I'll use those two to get out cutlasses. And then I'm left with a teleport drop and a defensive energy in hand. I could use the defensive energy to go grab a Bamf and put that on Apocalypse. And then I can use... Nope. I won't be able to play teleport drop at all. So that's kind of an issue. Oh, and yeah, because the sound was off earlier, you guys missed all the noise my cats decided to make. A snooty aristocrat vampire meme face. Yeah, I definitely see it. But yeah, my cats were making a whole lot of noise earlier. One was trying to get into one of my cupboards, and then another one decided to have the zoomies. Yeah, they're making noise again, so I apologize, but I mean, if you have cats, you know. So if I don't use energy shield, I still can't teleport drop because I would have to discard a card to go get Bamf. Well, actually, technically I could. But then I'd end up not having Bamf on Apocalypse. Because I've got the Prehensile Tail, which will pay for an event, which teleport drop is. Yeah, cat's definitely gonna cat. They're so funny, but man, they're crazy. And oh yeah, you definitely should have seen Artemis's face yesterday. She was so angry, like her ears were like full airplane mode, and she just had this look on her face like, I will kill you all. Like, she does not like my other two cats. She does not like them at all. They tolerate each other, but man, when she gets into a mood, she definitely gets into a mood. Let's see. Well, we're definitely putting down the cutlasses. Like, that's not even a question. The cutlasses are definitely coming out. It's just a matter of how I want to pay for them. I almost want to keep defensive energy just because when I defend again, that's going to give me more card draw. I can't teleport drop because I'm stunned. So I can't even get rid of Ozymandias. Man, I should still have... Oh yeah, I have, I think, 2 copies of... I forget what it's called, but the one that it prevents 3 damage, and then if you paid for it with an energy resource, it'll deal a damage. So hopefully, if I can draw into that, when Ozymandias attacks me next turn, I'll be able to ping the tough off of him, because it's not an attack. I've got to get rid of the stunned though. This is kind of screwing me up a bit. So I think I'm just going to drop Energy Shield. Or do I want to play Energy Shield? Because, I mean, I guess I could use teleport drop, but I hate to discard that again. Man, this is really difficult. Because at least energy shield, like, it gives me a way to prevent damage so that I can still trigger all of my stuff. So no, I'm gonna play energy shield. I'm gonna give myself energy shield. I'll put that right there. And then I'm not gonna trigger Excelsior. Or wait, we're planning out, right? Yeah, because it is my turn. Anyway, so yeah, energy shield. We'll use these two, never back down and powerful punch to finally get out my cutlasses. Alright, so I have retaliate again. I can't use teleport drop. I would like to use defensive energy to play a defense event. Alright, so we're already... I'm like playing like such a noob, holding multiple cards in my hand for multiple turns. We got a riposte, that's good. 3, 4, 5. And a genius. That's actually not bad. Okay. Oh, but the one thing was that I did need to grab Bamf to put it on Apocalypse before the end of my turn. Crap. I gotta drop teleport drop. So then I draw one more card. Yeah, I gotta remember that. Oh, but it's a tally-ho. Okay. So that's good. Alright, this is gonna go up by 1. He's gonna get a counter on the main. Alright. He's gonna attack me. Bamf is going to make me the defender without exhausting. I'm gonna use defensive energy to pay for Tally-Ho, which is a defense event. So that means I get to draw a card. That's a never back down. Which I believe is still within the window to play. Do I want to play that? Oh, why does it have to be so difficult? I don't think I'm gonna get to play Kurt's Chapel. So if I use that, I'll use that to play. No, wait, I don't even have to do that. I have Nerves of Steel. Duh. So use Nerves of Steel to play Never Back Down as well. So now I'm defending for 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus he takes 3 damage. So he's down to 5. The Bamf is going to come back up to my hand. So he's attacking for 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, glad I pulled that then. Because 3, 4, 5, 6. I blocked for 6. He's going to take a retaliate because of my cutlasses. And then I'm gonna trigger Hard to Ignore since I didn't take any damage. So I'll take 2 off the main. These go to discard. I'm gonna trigger Unflappable to draw a card. Oh, it's a Bamf. Okay, useful-ish. mean, I could use Riposte to trigger Excelsior, because it deals 2 damage to an enemy. The problem is, like, Ozymandias has tough. Man, he's gonna attack me because he's villainous as well. And I really need to not be stunned. This is really not great. Oh, and never back down, so he's actually stunned. Apocalypse is stunned. I think what I'm gonna end up doing here is I'm just gonna take the hit from Ozymandias. He's villainous, so this could be a risk. So he's attacking for 1, 2. So I'm gonna take 2 damage. I'm down to 5. I definitely need to jump down and heal. But then he is going to take a retaliate, which is going to get rid of his tough. So there is that. And I don't really have anything else going on right there. So now I draw an encounter card. Oh, we get a Clan Akba Zealot. So this is not great, because I really would have liked to have jumped down this turn, and now that's not going to happen. Hi, Aries. I mean, I could... Let's see, I have... But except I'm stunned, which is kind of the problem. Alright, so I'm going to put Bamf on Apocalypse. I'm going to put Bamf on Ozymandias. Not going to worry about the Clan Akba Zealot. Man, I could have just pitched Riposte, actually. I'm gonna do that so I can get out Kurt's Chapel, because at some point I'm gonna have to jump down to heal. And I'm finally gonna get rid of this stunned, because this is killing me. I can't do any of my attacks because of that. So we'll get rid of that. That's gonna be all I can do. So now we're gonna stand up. Ready everything. I'm definitely gonna keep that because I know there's stuff I can use that to pay for. Oh, the third Bamf. Another Riposte. Sidestep. Okay. And the X-Jet. Okay, so that can help pay for the X-Jet. I can finally get that out, which will kind of help with my economy. Alright, this is gonna go up by 1. Apocalypse is stunned, so there is that. Ozymandias is going to attack. I'm going to Bamf that. So I block for 4. He is villainous, so he's attacking for 1. And then Apocalypse is going to get staggering strength. Oh, that sucks. And he changes. Well, I'm glad that the stun got used up by actually stunning him, because now he's flipping to giant. So there is that, unfortunately. But Ozymandias is going to take retaliate from my cutlasses. Since I defended, do I want to use any of these cards? No, I don't. Well, actually, So one of the nice things about Excelsior is you do not have to put the damage on the enemy that is attacking you, that you defended against. You can actually spend the resource, because it just says spend an energy resource, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So I can actually I'll drop Riposte for Excelsior, which is going to put 2 damage on the Clan Akba Zealot. So there's that. Then the Clan Akba Zealot is going to attack me. Now I just have to decide if I want to defend, do a basic defense or not. Well, no, before I do that, let's do this first. Let's do all my other defense stuff. Unflappable, I get to draw a card because I didn't take damage. Alright, so I got a Port and Punch, which, not terrible, actually. That's actually really nice. Triggers are hard to ignore, so that's going to take 2. So the main is now clear. Don't have to worry about that right now. I believe that is all of my triggers for that. Okay, so now the Clan Akba Zealot is going to attack, and I have to decide if I'm going to do... No, I don't, because I have Sidestep. So he's attacking for 2. I'll just use Nerves of Steel because Sidestep is a defense. When I would take any amount of damage, I'll prevent 3 of that damage, and if I paid using a lightning resource, which I did, because that's what Nerves of Steel generates, I deal 1 damage to an enemy. And again, to an enemy. It doesn't have to be to the Clan Akba Zealot. So I'm going to throw that on Ozymandias, actually, because Clan Akba Zealot is just about to bite it from my Retaliate. So then this goes away. So he takes a Retaliate, and he's gone. Unfortunately, that puts 2 on Ancient Ritual. But that's also going to trigger Change of Fortune, which is after you defeat an enemy during the villain phase, exhaust this card and draw 2 cards. So I draw Tally Ho and X-Gene. Neither of which are helpful right now, but that's okay. I've got to get rid of Ozymandias. And I do have a Port and Punch that will help that happen. So, I mean, at least there's that. I mean, I guess I could drop... No. It's like I want to get all my stuff set up and then just start using Excelsior like crazy. So I'm not going to trigger Excelsior right now, which is, it might be a mistake, but... Because if I do... So if I triggered Excelsior... It's after your hero defends against an attack, and Change of Fortunes after you defeat an enemy during the villain phase, which is kind of part of, I think technically still falls under the same timing, maybe? So I could use Tally Ho, I could drop Tally Ho, put 2 damage on Ozymandias, put a Bamf on him, because I've got one in hand. Play Port and Punch, and I could do 3 damage to Apocalypse, and then 3 damage to each enemy with Bamf attached. So that would be another 3 damage on Apocalypse, and then 3 on Ozymandias would take out Ozymandias. But I kind of want to hit him during the villain phase just for the card draw. powerful punch. So I think I still got at least one more powerful punch left in the deck. Ooh, decisions. I think, yeah, so I'm not going to trigger Excelsior. I think I need to deal with, I think I just need to play what's in front of me. Alright, but that was attacking, so I still have to draw a card. Oh, and I get another Zealot. Alright. I gotta take threat off of there. That's gonna be a big issue if I don't. That's another reason I got to get rid of Ozymandias, because when he schemes, his threat goes here instead of on the main. And I really don't want that to go up to 10, because if I can avoid drawing extra encounter cards, I want to avoid drawing extra encounter cards. Okay, so I don't think I'm flipping down anytime soon to get X Gene, so I'm going to use Genius and X Gene to get out my X Jet. I'm going to throw Bamf on, not the Clan Octavazella, I'm going to throw it on Ozymandias. And then I think I can attack Ozymandias for 2, which would leave him at 2. If I do a basic attack, because Kurt's Cutlasses gives me +1 attack. But I need to take threat off of there, so I'm going to take threat off of Ancient Ritual. Because this guy, I'm going to get rid of him, I think. Maybe I should put the Bamf on the Clan Akaba Zealot. Yeah, I think I'm going to put Bamf on the Clan Akaba Zealot. Because I can tally-ho him and he'll just die. Like, he's just gone. And then that will trigger me Change of Fortune. So, that's good. Oh, but then I don't want to put the Bamf down on him then just yet. Because I want to play Port and Punch. So I could do 3 damage to Apocalypse, 3 damage, so 6 damage to Apocalypse. Yeah, I think that sounds good. Alright, so I use my Prehensile Tail and the X-Jet to play Port and Punch. So Apocalypse is going to take 3. So he's down to 1. And then he'll take 3 more. So that's going to flip him. He's going to move to... Oh no, where did my Apocalypse 2 go? There it is. Apologies, my messy hair. Alright, so now he's got 20 hit points. And now he's going to be attacking me for 5, which is not great. Alright, so we'll put that over there. Alright, so he's still Stalwart, he's still in giant form. Then I'm going to put Bamf on the Clan Akaba Zealot. Important Punch goes away. And then there's nothing else I can do right now. So, we're ready and draw. Let's see what I get. Okay, so I've got the Tally Ho, a Powerful Punch, perfect. Riposte, not bad. A Scout Ahead, which will help with Ancient Ritual if I can play it, and another Powerful Punch. So I do have ways, hope I don't get stunned. Hopefully I can get rid of Ozymandias with the Powerful Punch. That would be really nice. Alright, so this is going to go up by 1. This will go up to 2. He's going to attack me. Oh no, he is about to stun me. That's... crap, I forgot about that. Ah! I forgot the Staggering Strength. This when he attacks you, you are stunned. And then you discard the card after the activation. So I am about to be stunned. Yep, I really need Night Nurse in this deck. At least for this particular scenario. Night Nurse would be super nice to have. Well, I guess, I mean, technically... Oh, I still can get rid of Ozymandias. I don't need Powerful Punch to do it. It just means that he's gonna attack me and I'm gonna have to do a basic defense, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm gonna Bamf Apocalypse's attack, so he's attacking for 3, 4, 5. I am defending for 4, so he's gonna hit me. I'm just gonna have to take the hit, whatever hit it is. So he's attacking me for 5, 6. So I'm gonna take 2 damage. Yeah, I really need to jump down and heal. So I'm at 3, which is bad. And then also this is gonna start going up by an additional 1 every turn, so not great. However, this is gonna end up missing the cycle, which is awesome. I think there's 2 of those in here though, so he's got another one. But this does get discarded and I'm stunned, so that's kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. The Clan Akba Zealot is going to attack. That's right, I'm tally-hoing this. So I'm going to use Nerves of Steel because it is a defense. So this will come back to my hand. He's going to take 3 damage and that's going to send him away. That's going to trigger Change of Fortune, draw 2 cards. Ooh, a Port Away. Okay. And then because I defended and didn't take damage, that's going to trigger Unflappable, draw a card. Hard to ignore. I'll only use 1 because there's only 1 on there. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think I triggered everything off of that attack. Now Ozymandias is going to attack. I mean, I'm gonna have to do a basic defense. Oh, okay. I really hope Apocalypse doesn't attack me, because if he does, I'm gone. And then I'll have to cut this short, because then I've got to go. I've got to get ready for bed. I have 1 more day of work this week. And then maybe if I lose, we'll do a rematch next week. Okay, so he's attacking me for 1, plus whatever is on here. for... Oh, yep, and I am playing Riposte. I did say that I was going to do that. So, I get +2 defense. So I'm defending for 3, 4, 5, 6. He's attacking for 4, so none of that gets through. He's going to take 3 damage. So that puts him at 5 damage. So he's got 1 hit point left, and then Retaliate will finish him off. So no more Ozymandias. And that is going to go to discard. Okay. Now, encounter card. Caught off guard. I will lose the energy shield. So, there is that. Okay. So not too bad. I mean, I guess I could do... You know what? I'm going to use the X-Jet to trigger Excelsior to do 2 damage on Apocalypse. So now he's down to 18. Ooh, a whole 18. Oh, crap, and this got 2 back on it because of... I took out that one guy. But I took out Ozymandias. He was the one that I was most worried about. Yeah. Well, now I can do... Or wait, I could do Scout Ahead and take 3 off of there. I could do... I'm definitely going to do Port Away. That's not even a question. So yeah, I'm going to drop the Bamf and I'm going to change forms and ready. Okay. And then I'm going to heal. So Kurt's Chapel gives me +1 recovery, so I get 4 back, so I'm up at 7. Which is still not where I would like to be, but better than 3. And then I'm going to use that response to draw a card. Oh, I got Electrostatic Armor. Will I play Electrostatic Armor? That is the question. Alright, then I'm going to flip back up. And let's see, you know what? Yep, let's get Electrostatic Armor out. Put that over here. Then we're gonna drop a Powerful Punch to pull Bamf back to hand. And we're gonna throw that on Apocalypse. And then, heck, we'll use Strength to play a Port and Punch, so he's going to take 6 damage, so he'll be down to 12. Because he'll take 3, so I deal 3 damage to an enemy and 3 damage to each enemy with Bamf attached, so not too bad. And then I've still got a Scout Ahead, which I would like to use at some point to take threat off of Ancient Ritual. So I think I'm going to hold on to that. And then we'll ready up. And then draw. And I'm getting another encounter card. So we've got Energy, Sidestep. These go back, and I have a Bamf on him, so I don't have to worry about having to top deck into a Bamf. But, yeah, so now because of Electrostatic Armor, he's going to take retaliate from my cutlasses. Well, he would take that anyway, but now he's going to take an extra damage after I defend against an attack. So it's like, it's kind of like retaliate, but not. It's weird. The electrostatic armor is kind of strange. Another sidestep and a Bamf. Okay. Wow, I keep top decking into Bamf when I don't need it. Okay, so this is going to go up by 1. This is going to go up by, or no, this is going to go up by 2. And then this will go up by 1. Apocalypse is going to attack me for 3. I mean, I have sidestep, but he's also getting boost, so I would rather Bamf. So I'm going to do that. Well, Bamf. He attacks for 3. I'm blocking for 3, 4. And then if I need to, I'll throw a sidestep and then I shouldn't take any damage. So 3, 4, 5. Alright, so then we're going to use Nerves of Steel to play sidestep. So I will take no damage. And then since I did pay for it with an energy resource, I get to do a damage to Apocalypse. I get to do a damage for Retaliate and for his electrostatic armor. So he's going to end up taking 3 damage off of attacking me. So he's down to 9, which is nice. Okay. And I'm stunned, so that's... There is that. I mean, I guess I could Excelsior. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna X-Jet Excelsior so he's down to 7. It'd be really nice to be able to teleport drop him right now. That would be fantastic. Then I'm gonna get to trigger Unflappable. So we'll draw a card because I didn't take any damage. And we'll trigger both Hard to Ignores, take 2 off the main. So, what is that? Alright, now we've got encounter cards. We have another Zealot. We gotta take care of him because he's got guard. And if Apocalypse is in giant form, he activates against you. So he's attacking me again. In that case, I will block. Just do basic block. Again for 4. I've still got a sidestep in hand, so he'll attack for 3, 4. So sadly I can't use sidestep because I'm not taking any damage. I block all of it. But that means he's going to take a damage from Retaliate and from the electrostatic armor. So where did that go? So he'll take 2. He's down to 5. Nice. Yeah, I think this is discarded first, then this. Alright. Now it's my turn. I can't... It's kind of hard to do anything. I don't have any attacks in hand, unfortunately. It would be really nice to have a Port and Punch on hand. Alright, so I'll put Bamf back on Apocalypse. I will use... I guess I'll use Genius to overpay for... No, I won't. I mean, I could... I am going to use his Prehensile Tail to pay for Scouting Ahead, just to take 3 off of the Ancient Ritual. I mean, I'd like to keep that down as much as possible, especially since he's going to put 2 more on there when he's gone. I want to hold on to sidestep. So yeah, I will overpay to bring a Bamf back, and I'm going to put that on the Clan Akba Zealot. And that will be my turn. Alright, so we're ready and draw. So we'll hold these. 1, 2, 3. There's a Portent Punch. Yes! Hopefully I will be able to take him down right now. That would be fantastic. Alright, so this is going up to 2. Oh, except this is triggering, so we have to, well, it's nice to get that out of the way. Nice to see that gone. Nice to see that gone. This, let's see, he's activating against me, so he is going to attack. He's on 5 hit points. Okay. Yeah, alright. So we will Bamf this attack. Oh, I did draw a Tally-Ho. And we're going to Tally-Ho that. Alright, using Nerves of Steel. Hey, what are you doing? Alright, so Bamf is coming back up to my hand. He's going to take 3 damage. So he's down to 2. I am defending for 4. Okay, this is still resolving because he's attacking me. He's activating. So 3, 4, 5. I am going to use my Prehensile Tail to pay for sidestep. So I don't take any damage. And that's going to be 3 damage back to him. So that actually leaves him at -1. So we've defeated Apocalypse, but we're going to keep going with this. Alright. Yeah. Oh yeah, just turn it into like a... Should I just add like some of those like oh, what did they call them? The word cards in between the scenes? Yeah. With that with piano music playing in the background, like the oh man, what is the name of that song? The really famous piano, old piano songs like da 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 da. You know, like that. Oh. I mean, I could, except like you never see my face. But let's see how much damage so we can still do on Apocalypse. Is we'll use the X-Jet to trigger Excelsior to do 2 more damage. So he's at -3. Unflappable is going to draw us a card. Change of Fortune. That was defeating an enemy. So that's 2 cards. None of these help me right now. I guess, you know, might as well trigger Hard to Ignore and clear off that main. The Clan Akba Zealot is going to attack me. Just bamf that, and then I'll use Powerful Punch because I can't use it anyway because I'm stunned to play Riposte, so that would take out the Clan Akba Zealot, so he's gone. And I defended against him, so I could also actually drop energy. This will still only deal the 2 damage. Unfortunately, I don't think you can stack. But that puts him at -5. And then I think that's about all I can do during the villain phase. We'd have to do the draw card, so you would get Source of Power. And then it would go over into my turn, at which point basic attack to get rid of stun. I'll put Bamf on Apocalypse and play Port and Punch, which would be an extra 6 damage. So would be 11 overkill damage on him by the time we ended the turn. Or got to the end of my turn. So yeah, we defeated Apocalypse. I'm sure I made mistakes. I'm fairly certain I made mistakes. The biggest one being that the entire beginning of this video was completely mute. I'm so sorry. But, yeah, that was Nightcrawler versus Apocalypse. Yeah, it's a fun deck. I think if I were teching directly for this scenario, there are a few different things I would do with this deck. I would definitely put in Night Nurse. Yeah, so he's actually not terrible with threat as long as you're using his basic thwart and, you know, when you get the chance using Scout Ahead. Scout Ahead's actually not a bad card, especially if you end up with multiple schemes in play. Which, you know, it's got 2 schemes in play at all times. So there is that. Plus, you know, Hard to Ignore. Man, Hard to Ignore it's an aptly named card. It definitely is super helpful. Like, even just getting 1 down, you notice a difference. Getting 2 down, the main scheme, it's got an acceleration icon on it. It's the end of the game and there's no threat on the main scheme. So, I mean, that should tell you how good Hard to Ignore is, as long as you built your deck so that your hero can defend well. And then Nightcrawler, he generally does a really good job defending anyway. This is one of those odd situations where I actually did come very close to dying, but I've played games with him where I never took a single point of damage. I have built decks with him that kind of actually lean into Kurt's Chapel a bit, just for the card draw, and the best way to do that, like, this is one of my Nightcrawler tips if you wanna use Kurt's Chapel at all, is Weapon X. Weapon X plus Nightcrawler is fantastic because Weapon X is an alter ego action, where I think it's you discard cards from your deck until you discard a hero-specific card. But you have to take a damage in order to trigger it. And so every time you use it, you take a damage. Well, I mean, Kurt's Chapel doesn't care how much you heal. And even though your recovery is 3, it's 4 plus Kurt's Chapel. You know, once you get the Kurt's Chapel out, it's up to 4. So, I mean, you could still be healing for 1 every turn, but then you'll still get the card draw. So Weapon X plus Nightcrawler is super nice. And then, you know, if you're worried about not being ready when you jump up to hero form after that, there's always... Oh, what is that? It's a basic card. It's not ready for a fight. That's the... Oh, why can't I remember the card? I'm gonna have to look this up now. It's ready. It's something ready. Ready for action. No, not ready for action. Ready to rumble. That's the card. It's a basic upgrade, and after you change form, you discard it and you can ready your hero. So Ready to Rumble and Weapon X together with Nightcrawler is actually a really good combination, especially if you want to be using his basic activations at all. Which, it's kind of funny because a lot of times you don't, like, a lot of times the basic activation doesn't really matter, but a lot of times it kind of does. And for him especially, where, you know, most of the damage that you're doing with him is actually not... He's not basic attacking. Like, even though he does get a +1 attack from his cutlasses, you're not doing basic attacks with Nightcrawler. You're doing, like... And I'm so sad I didn't get to use this, but, you know, you're using your teleport drop, or you're using your port and punch to deal damage, or, you know, any other cards in your deck, like as you saw, like Riposte, Tally Ho does damage, Powerful Punch, which I don't think I got to use that once, actually, because I kept being stunned when I could use it. But anyway, so with Nightcrawler, like, his basic thwart is actually very handy, and between that and his 2 Scout Ahead cards, he can actually mitigate quite a lot of threat, and then you add in stuff like Hard to Ignore. And then I think there's Not Today. You know, if you really want to lean into taking care of threat while you're defending, you've got Not Today that you can use. I think there's another one, but I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, yeah, he's actually surprisingly not as bad as you would think dealing with threat. Now, like, if there was more going on as far as threat is concerned, yeah, then I'd probably be a little worried. But for just kind of like, just the little bit of threat that I had to deal with, just kind of the normal amount that goes on to the main scheme, and then every once in a while you would get a side scheme that would show up. He could take care of most of that without an issue. So he's actually surprisingly good about dealing with threat, even though his kit, you wouldn't think so. But even just, you know, just little things that you can add, like, you know, Hard to Ignore, definitely helps. I think I initially tried this deck with Not Today, and it was just too much. Like, I never got to really use the, you know, if you, because it Not Today, it follows the same, kind of the same format as Never Back Down and Riposte, where it's, you know, when you defend against an attack, you get +2 defense, and if you take no damage, you get X. You know, with Never Back Down, it's stun the attacking enemy. With Riposte, it's deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. With Not Today, it's remove, I think it's 2 threat. from a scheme. I can look it up really quick. Not today. Yeah, you get +2 defense for if you defend against the attack, and if you take no damage, remove 2 threat from a scheme. I know there is one that it takes it off the main scheme, and I forget which one it is. It's not the same format. I don't think it gives you +2 defense, though. But anyway, yeah, he's actually not bad at thwarting. Yeah, overkill thwart. I really want them to do something Injustice that's a little bit like, what's that card? Moment of Triumph from Aggression, where, if you overkill something, not overkill as in the keyword overkill, but it's just you hit it for way more hit points than it actually has, that you heal that much. I would love if they would do that in Justice for thwarting. Like, if you over thwarted something, that you could heal, that you would heal that much that you over thwarted. Because they've got cards like, and this is one of my favorite Justice cards, Making an Entrance, where you get +2 when you do a basic thwart. You get +2 to your thwart, and if you what's the word I'm looking for? If you defeat the side scheme, or if you remove all threat. Yes, making an entrance. See, is one of my favorite cards. I don't use it very often because I'm one of those people that I do not believe in, like, what is the term that everybody uses for certain cards that always have to go in a deck? Like, if you're using this particular aspect, these cards from that aspect must be in your deck in order for it to be a good deck. Like, I don't like that mindset. I really don't like those types of cards. I much prefer cards that you have to make choices with. And Making an Entrance is definitely one of those cards. You have to decide if you're actually going to go in that direction where you're doing basic thwarting. And then, if you decide that that's the direction that you're going to go, you also have to, number one, make sure that, like, the hero is actually a decent basic thwarter. Number two, you also have to decide, okay, so I'm not going to lean into Confuse, because if you're leaning into Confuse, then you're flipping down. And if you're flipping down, you're going to take the opportunity to heal. Making an Entrance is, when you make a basic thwart, you get +2 for that thwart, and then after that ends, if your hero removed all threat from a scheme that way, you heal 2 damage from your hero. So it's kind of one of those cards where it's like, you could use it as kind of like a panic button heal, I guess, but at the same time, if... What is happening with my screen? Huh. Why? Well, my camera is... Nope, there it goes. Oh, why? Huh. I don't know why I did that. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. I don't... Yeah, so we started with no sound, we're ending with no video. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's like, and I don't have an issue with people who like to stick to one thing, like with certain aspects or how they play in a certain way, but I personally like to mix things up. Like, I like to try different things. Yeah, I should probably look into doing something like that. But, yeah, I don't know why, because, like, my camera is actually still on, but for whatever reason, it's apparently decided that it's no longer going to work with this screen. I don't know. But, anyway, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, like, I like to mix things up. I like to try different things. Again, it's one of the big reasons that I generally just stick to playing standard, is because then I can play weird, janky decks, and try them out. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they work in standard, and then they get obliterated playing. Oh, there it is. It's back. But, anyway, yeah, I think it makes the decks more interesting. It makes the game itself more interesting, and so I really like cards that are not auto-includes. That's the word I was looking for before. They're not auto-includes for a deck, just because you're playing in, a specific aspect. Like, I don't like the idea that, well, you have to take these cards in order for it to be a good deck. I mean, yeah, that's true, it might be a good deck, but it's a boring deck. And so, an obligation card thing, yeah. That would be good. I will have to, I'll have to make some extra scenes for this. I do need to make an ending scene as well. I still need to figure out how to do like a playlist so that the opening screen isn't the same song over and over and over again. Yeah, I don't know why the picture just decided to start working again. Ugh. Computers, man, computers. But anyway, yeah, so that was a very interesting, partially silent Nightcrawler versus Apocalypse. I'll just say that I was doing Deadpool's obligation, and just not talking for like 45 minutes. But anyway, yeah, if you want to play the deck at all, I've got the link to it down in the description. Like, I think Nightcrawler is a great hero. I know a lot of people haven't really jived with him, but I think, as I explained in the beginning, I think part of that is just because people don't really understand how to play Nightcrawler. Because you have to pay attention to where your Bamfs are. You've only got 3 of them in the deck, and there's only like 2 ways that you can get those Bamfs without top decking. And on his alter ego side, it's you have to look in your deck for a copy of Bamf, and in your hero side, it's you have to pay a resource to grab it from your discard pile. So, if you're having to stay in hero form for most or all of the game, you have to make sure that when your deck is about to cycle, that you have a copy of Bamf either in your hand or it's on an enemy. Like, it doesn't have to be the villain, but it's on an enemy, and it's going to be there when your deck does cycle. because then you'll always have access to a Bamf. And I think that's kind of one of the big things that people miss. I know that's one of the big things that I initially missed, and I have to thank Andre from the Crash Space, because watching his videos on Nightcrawler just completely changed the way that I play Nightcrawler. I'm much more cognizant now of where the Bamfs are, because they're so important. Like his kit, it doesn't revolve as heavily around the Bamfs as other heroes' kits might revolve around certain things, like Hercules' kit with his gifts. Like Hercules' kit is almost non-functional without his gifts. It's pretty awful. Nightcrawler's I wouldn't say is quite to that extent, I think. I don't know, actually, it might be worse if you think about it, because he's got cards that you can't really use if you don't have a Bamf, either in hand or in play. Like teleport drop, you can't play it if there's no Bamf on the villain, and port away you cannot play if you don't have a Bamf in hand. And I think with Hercules' kit, at least, you know, you're way overpaying for what the cards do if you have no gifts, but at least you can still actually use like the Gift of Battle and his thwarting card. But you're definitely overpaying. But anyway, yeah, he's actually I think he's actually a fairly strong hero. He's a fun hero. I think that's probably the more important thing, is that Nightcrawler is a lot of fun to play. Once you understand like how to play him. Once you understand that you always need to have access to at least one Bamf, he's a lot of fun to play. And if you can figure out how to keep your Bamfs coming back, or like, you know, cycling back into your deck or into your hand, or, you know, how to keep getting port away back into the deck so that you keep, you know, flipping down and readying and all that stuff. Like, he's so much fun to play, and he's pretty versatile. I've heard, I think it was the Stunned and Confused guys who said that he doesn't really have like anything that he jives with in Justice, and I kind of want to build a Justice deck for him just to see if I can make it work. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that in the future, and we'll play Nightcrawler again in the future in Justice. But I think, I don't know, I did kind of have the workings of a Deadpool deck kind of in my mind. It's actually leadership, so we'll see how that goes. But so maybe next week we'll do Deadpool. I don't know who I would run him up against, but I can try out this leadership deck that I was kind of toying around with. It didn't feel like it was ready for tonight, so that's why I went with Nightcrawler and Habeo Gladios Trace. I have 3 swords deck. And then Apocalypse, the En Sabah Nur, I haven't played against it more than like a few times, so I thought, why not? Let's try it. But yeah, if I were gonna tech for this with this deck, I would definitely change out a few things. I'd add in Night Nurse. I'd probably, I don't know, I might take out some of the defense cards and just switch them out with something else. I'm not sure. I think I'd put at least one ready for a fight in here, so that Nightcrawler could jump down just in case he does need to heal. Because, yeah, Apocalypse can do some damage. And especially, you know, when he's like jumping back to biomorph form every now and then, so that's dealing indirect damage to the player every time he does that, which kind of sucks. But anyway, Yeah, I think it's probably. Oh yeah, I definitely need to go. Anyway, yeah, that was a pretty good game. It came close. It came close when I was down to 3 hit points, but I think overall it did pretty well, and the game came out okay. Despite the lack of like talking for the first 45 minutes. I gotta remember to check my mic before I do the next one. But yeah, I think overall it was a fun game. And we'll have to figure out what we play against next time. And if I'm gonna play Deadpool. Man, I just realized, let's see, last week was Psylocke, this week was Nightcrawler, and if next week is Deadpool, that's 3 weeks of mutants. It'd be like the 3 years of, was it the 3 years of X-Men? We'll do 3 weeks of mutants. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Wasteland Sniper, and yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, like, subscribe, do all the things. Yeah, and I will, I guess I'll